Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lenny. If you've been here for a while, you know I've been diving deep into n8n, doing tutorials, sharing automations, and lately even building out some AI agents using it. And as someone with a bit of a developer background, but not currently working in a coding role, it's been such a smooth and exciting transition using a tool like n8n. And it's just so accessible, especially for non-developers who don't know how to code. Now, when I first got started with n8n, I was on the cloud version. It was super easy, everything just worked. But when the free trial ended, I made a decision to switch to the self-hosted open source version. And as a small channel and a solo creator, I wanted to cut down on costs wherever possible. But now, after self-hosting it on my own instance, I'm seriously considering going back to the cloud version. So in today's video, I want to walk through my experience, why I switched to a self-hosted version in the first place, and what the challenges have been, and why the cloud version might actually be worth it for folks like me. I'm also curious to hear what your experience has been, so drop your thoughts in the comment section below, especially if you've tried both. Now let's start with the most obvious reason: cost. Yes, n8n it's free and open source, but self-hosting it is not exactly free. I originally thought I could run it on my shared hosting provider, that is SiteGround, since I already pay for it anyways. But then it turns out shared hosting doesn't cut it. You need more control than they allow. So I moved to AWS thinking, perfect, there's a free tier, and I set up an EC2 instance. And here's the catch: elastic IPs, persistent storage, and other things you need to keep your workflows running. Yeah, those are included in the free tier. So then mines have already racked up about $8. And while that's not a huge amount, it adds up, especially when you factor in the time and effort. Now, the second big issue has to do with the setup process. So it took me days to get everything running the way I needed it to. Between Docker issues, firewall settings, freezing out node versions, and all the random errors, it just wasn't as smooth as I expected it to be. And to make things more complicated, some of the newer n8n versions didn't pair nicely with certain packages I needed. So I had to downgrade and tweak and troubleshoot. Don't get me wrong, it was a great learning experience, but it definitely stole time away from actually building and creating. Now that I'm managing everything myself, I also help to manage all the updates and the patches. Unlike the cloud version where they handle everything, I'm now behind on several versions, and every update is a whole new project. And when you are self-hosted, you are responsible for everything. So from backups to version control to security. And another challenge is adding anything custom. Like when I needed to use a FFmpeg, that meant rebuilding my Docker container. And when I did that, I lost my workflows. Thankfully, I had backups, but the whole process of exporting, re-importing, testing is time-consuming. And in some cases, it broke things that were already working. So that part wasn't fun. And then there's their FOMO, like fear of missing out on all the new features. So recently with MCPs becoming a big deal, I've been looking to try it. But because I'm behind on verses, I can't access some of the newer tools or nodes they've added. Every time I see a cool tutorial or updates from n8n, I have to ask myself, can I even use this? Because then it becomes a whole new project, right? I need to install, rebuild, and I'm really scared that I'm going to break something, right? But with a cloud version, you're always on the latest. No worries about compatibility or breaking changes. So that's peace of mind. It's starting to feel very appealing. So why does this lead me? I'm seriously thinking of switching back to the cloud version. Yes, it has a cost, but the time I've spent managing, maintaining, and troubleshooting my self-hosted instance is starting to outweigh the benefits of saving a few bucks a month. And if you look at the pricing on the n8n website, really for the starter version, it's like €20 a month, which isn't really bad. And then the full version is like €50 a month. I know that for a small channel that could be a lot, but that's fine. My main concern has to do with the fact that I'm missing out on all the good stuff, all the updates coming through on n8n. And with my AWS instance, even though it's on a free tier, I'm still paying for a few things here and there. Looking at having consuming resources on AWS, I do think that by the end of the month, I would have racked up enough cost to really compensate for the €20 a month. So it really makes sense for me. However, we just switched to the top version. So if you are someone like me, balancing content creation, a full-time job, and not wanting to dive deep into DevOps every weekend, the cloud version might just be the better long-term investment. And hey, that's just my experience. I'd love to hear from you as well. Are you self-hosting n8n? What's your setup like? Are you happy with it or thinking of moving to the cloud like I am? Just drop a comment below. Let's compare notes. And if you found this helpful, give it a like, maybe share it with a fellow creator. And of course, subscribe if you want more AI automation and workflow content like this. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next video.